Hey everyone, it's Jim Banks here. I thought I would go live. I'm going to try and go live on YouTube. I'm going to try and go live on Substack at the same time. Not really sure how that's going to go, but today's Black Friday, and it's traditionally one of my most busy days of the year. This year it's slightly less busy because I've had a bit of a pivot in terms of the business. I've moved away from doing sort of all e-commerce businesses, and I'm now probably about 80% is lead generation, pay-per-call, and the other 20% is e-commerce. So it's kind of a bit quieter for me, but I still get sort of excited and feel a real buzz for those agency friends that I have who are involved in e-commerce businesses. And at the moment, I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just really sort of geeking out on some of the stats. So every year, Shopify has a website that they post. It's basically live stats of what's going on their platform. I think for me, it's probably one of the best examples of gamification I've seen ever. To the point where last year they actually had it showing up on the Sphere in Las Vegas, which is, again, super cool. I believe it's going to be on at the Sphere this year. I think it looks much better at night than it does during the day. I don't know if it's even going to be on during the day. But I thought I'd kind of go live and see what's going on. So I can see I'm live on Substack, which is cool. I'm just going to check to see what's going on YouTube, see if I'm on live on that as well. Just give me 1 second. I want to make sure, see where we are. If you are watching, just kind of leave a comment and let me know kind of where you are, what's going on, what you're up to. I'd love to kind of know what's going on in your world, whether you've got anything going on for Black Friday and obviously Cyber Monday. So even though it's Black Friday today, really for me the whole kind of thing has become a bit of a joke now. It's almost like I started receiving Black Friday emails, I think, at the beginning of the month, and we're now towards the end of November. I've been receiving them pretty much since the beginning of November, and I'm sure that I'll be receiving Black Friday, Cyber Monday offers right the way through, probably until Christmas now. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's just really, where are we? I can't seem to see whether I'm live on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please just post a comment and let me know that you are, so then I can see what's going on. But I thought what I would do while I was here is I would share the Shopify Black Friday Cyber Monday deal. So let me just switch across, get the right window up. It's always a good sign. So there we are. So this is the kind of the screen that shows you how many sales are happening on Shopify like right now. So as you can see, currently there is just over $3 million of sales being transacted on the Shopify platform every single minute, which to me is just mind-blowing. And that equates to 28,730 odd orders per minute and 18 million unique shoppers. So again, for me, that's just mind-blowing numbers. The thing I really like about this website, so aside from the numbers, which are fantastic, the thing I really, really like about the site, I'll just kind of do this to zoom out a bit so you can kind of see what's going on. So you can see that the actual site is built up like a sort of almost like a workshop with a pinball machine and a computer to the right. And what's really interesting is that the whole thing is interactive. So at the moment, you can see I'm obviously looking at the pinball machine. If I go over here, let me just change this to a different screen. Take myself off the screen so you can see. So yeah, so if you look over here, you can see it's got a pizza box with half-eaten pizza, and then if you click on it, it says add pineapple. Now, come on, we all know that nobody in their right mind has pineapple on pizza, but you can have pineapple on the Shopify pizza. Then what you have is this lamp. So if you toggle the lamp on and off, you can see that using sort of UV light, they've got a code 4569. If you punch that in, 4569, into the keypad there, that gives you stuff that you can do with the pinball machine. So it's got glowing ball, rainbow ball trails, and spinner world. So there's 3 codes in actual fact that I found. There's that one there for the light. So let's just toggle the light back on now. There's this one on the board here, which I can't remember what that gave you. And over here on the computer, we click into that. we can see in the careers one, there is a special code for you there, right? So there's 3 codes that you can actually have that will show for, to give you better things to do on the pinball machine. So I'll come back and show you what's in the computer in more detail in a minute. But let me just kind of go over here. So if you wanted to kind of play the pinball machine, right? So you can see I've got the glowing ball on at the moment. If I wanted to turn all 3 of those off, I can just turn them off and it just becomes a normal pinball. To play the game, if you're interested in playing along yourself, right? What you can do is you can actually you can go with the left and right shift key, right? Will be your flippers. So let me just show you there. So left and right flippers. And to kind of shoot the ball, you just press and pull the space bar. That will kind of shoot the, I can't remember what that is, the technical term for that. As you can see here, my highest game score so far has been 2,336,000. So if you have a go at the game, let me know in the comments whether you beat it or not. I'd really be really curious, because I thought I played a killer game of pinball by doing that. So yeah, so let me just do that. Pull the pin back, fire it, and that's a good start. Ball saved. So because it was too quick, it kind of gives me the shot again. Well, that wasn't very good. Oh, goodness me. This is probably the worst game. Obviously don't do well in front of an audience. So that's the game over. 181,000. That's not very good at all. So that's the score to beat. Although I did do a 2.3 million score before, so like I said, it must have been the fact that there was an audience there. So let me go back over here to the computer. So I've showed you the careers.txt file. You click on the drive, double click on it. It will show you that there is actually a game on here that you can play. It's a driving simulator. So again, if you have kids and you want to kind of get them to play the game, you're welcome to do that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play the game now, but you just press the start button, left and right key for driving, left and right, forward for the accelerate, and brake is the back. So that's kind of how that game works. Then if you go to the Vegas Sphere, right, what you'll be able to see is it'll show you kind of what it looked like last year. I mean, this for me, like I said, was just mind-blowing. So let me just make that bigger. So obviously that was last year's 2024. If you look at 2025, it will show. I'm guessing eventually, but I think what they're probably going to do is, because it costs some money to kind of appear on the Sphere, they're probably going to wait until it's dark a little bit later in Vegas. So that'll probably more like sort of maybe 9-10 o'clock at night, West Coast time. So again, I don't know kind of where that would be. That'd probably be about 5 or 6 in the morning for me here in the UK. That's probably when the Sphere will show up at that point. But you can see here on the right-hand side, you've got the edge, the back end, other stuff, logs and data, to see how many CDN requests there are, webhooks, edge requests, edge gigabytes, Shopify functions, database queries. I mean, it's just mind-blowing, the numbers that are kind of showing on here. Just like completely just blows my mind to see that data. So let's kind of go back into the main reason why we're here, which is the the stats from here. So as we can see, we're kind of hovering around the $3 million mark per minute. What you can also do is on the globe, you can kind of spin around. So at the moment, this is what's happening in the US. As you can see, obviously, these are all the orders that are coming into the US from elsewhere. So merchants that are based in the US clearly make up a big chunk of the overall Shopify merchant ecosystem. And what you'll find is as we kind of go through. So at the moment, it's like coming up to 2:00, which is around about 9:00 in the morning East Coast time. So you get these messages. The merchant just reached 10,000 sales, which is great. But yeah, so what you'll see is as the day goes on, what you'll find is that the West Coast will sort of wake up a bit. Yeah. So at the moment, like the most of the sales are East Coast. What will start to happen is as the West Coast comes online, right, there'll be a lot more transactions on the West Coast, and that's at the point in time. At that point in time, I would imagine that we'll probably be up more than sort of 4 or 5 million per minute at that point. So yeah, I mean, I'd be really curious to see, if you're sort of a merchant on Shopify, whether you find that you kind of see that trend in terms of user behavior, right? I've always kind of found when I've been working with clients, they get a bit nervous when they don't see sales maybe right at the beginning of the day, and when you actually analyze where their sales have traditionally come from, you can usually kind of use the data to kind of formulate a kind of narrative as far as what that day might look like in reality. But also because it's no longer just one day. So here we go, another one. Merchant just reached 10,000 sales. Great. But what you'll find is that what tends to happen is it used to be just one day. Black Friday was one day in and of itself. What would then happen is the online merchants said, well, hang on a minute, we want something, because Black Friday historically was set up for people who sold bricks and mortar. So people who had bricks and mortar stores who were missing out and losing out to online merchants like Amazon and so on. So that's where Black Friday sort of started. So that's 10,000 sale merchants that have kind of landed in probably the last 2 minutes. So what happened is that Cyber Monday kind of came to fore at that point. So Black Friday was always the day after Thanksgiving. People would be at home with their families. Families would start to get on their nerves. They then would go to the shops. They would buy stuff. They would go home. What then happened, obviously, Cyber Monday became the online version of Black Friday. And then you had the weekend in between. So it became, instead of one day, it became 2 days. Then it became 4 days. And now, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's become pretty much like 35 to 40 days because people start their Black Friday sales early and they finish them late. So, and for me, it's quite interesting as somebody who buys advertising for people. What tended to happen is that the expectation was we would generate a lot more sales. So that would mean that we would generate a lot more spend in terms of the ad accounts. We'd spend a lot more money. But, it's kind of a bit of a double kick, right? You get kicked because you're effectively making less money because the advertiser is discounting their products to sell them. So instead of maybe a $50 sale, they might only be getting a $25 or $30 sale. But what would happen is that the cost of the sale would be significantly higher